All right, welcome to this rapid fire explainer. Today, we're doing something pretty special. We're going to distill a seriously complex ancient text, Numbers chapter 5, down to its 3 distinct pillars of law. And to keep things super focused, we're going to do the whole shebang in under 2.5 minutes. So let's get that timer going and see exactly how the ancient Israelites maintained order, justice, and absolute purity. Let's get right into it.
So the entire source material really hinges on this one absolutely crucial verse, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell. What's so interesting about this is how it establishes the incredibly high-stakes theme for literally everything that follows. This isn't just some basic civil code. It's really about maintaining absolute purity within a community where the Lord actually resides. Every single rule we're about to look at, it flows directly from this one massive imperative.
Okay, Pillar 1, physical purity. The text immediately moves to protect the camp from physical defilement, treating the physical space as something that requires strict, rigorous, and highly visible boundaries.
And verses 1 through 4 outline exactly what those boundaries look like. It commands the immediate removal of anyone, both male and female, it's very specific about that, affected by leprosy, bodily issues, or, contact with a corpse. It's a swift communal action, right? The goal is to completely isolate anything considered physically unclean, far away from the sacred center of the camp. Which brings us right into our second pillar, civil restitution. Now, when someone commits a trespass by wronging or stealing from someone else, physical isolation isn't the answer here. Instead, we see this really fascinating ancient economic principle. The guilty party actually has to confess their sin, return the principal amount, and, here's the kicker, add exactly 1/5 or 20% on top of it to give directly to the victim. And if the victim is passed on with no kinsman, that plus 20% goes straight to the priest. It's just a highly specific look at ancient restorative justice.
Pillar 3, domestic law and the ordeal. But what happens when the trespass isn't, say, a visible physical ailment or a quantifiable financial theft? What if it's a completely hidden matter of jealousy and suspected infidelity?
Well, that brings us to the law of jealousies. This is a highly procedural trial by ordeal, and the steps for this bitter water ritual are wild. First, the jealous husband brings a specific offering of barley meal, notably without any oil or frankincense. Then, the priest takes over and prepares this mixture called the bitter water. He takes holy water, sweeps up literal dust from the tabernacle floor to mix in, writes down specific curses in a book, and then, get this, literally washes the wet ink of those curses right into the water. Finally, the woman drinks it. It's this intensely psychological, incredibly dramatic ritual designed to bring a hidden truth to light when there is 0 witnesses.
And the text leaves absolutely no gray area here. It's a strict binary verdict. If she's defiled and guilty, the text states the bitter water will cause her belly to swell and her thigh to rot, basically making her a curse among her people. But if she's clean, the text declares she shall be free and shall actually conceive seed. This ordeal essentially completely removes the burden of proof from the husband and places the ultimate judgment entirely in the hands of the divine.
And look at that, we made it just under our 2.5-minute time limit. So as we wrap up this explainer, we're left with this really fascinating question to ponder. How do these incredibly different methods for dealing with disease, theft, and jealousy paint a complete picture of ancient justice? I mean, we've seen physical quarantine, calculated economic restitution, and a deeply dramatic divine trial by ordeal, all existing side by side. It truly shows just how holistic and all-encompassing their view of community purity really was. Thanks for joining me on this rapid-fire dive into the text, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.